Hello and welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys, or welcome back. I'm Jeff, and today I'm not really sure what to call it, but after a little bit of debate, I'm going to call it a shop update. The reason why I don't know what to call it is I'm building another one of these wooden tables that the city's on. So it's really not a city update, it's not really a shop update, but we're going to call it a shop update. So on this one here is actually two tables put together. The one I'm going to build is going to be one table the same size as these two. And as stated previous in other episodes, I'm going to build the table right here, and then we're going to slide the city over so that we'll be reusing this table again. So basically, we're going to effectively double the size of the city today by the time we are done. Not actually going to build it, but just the table. And let's go ahead and let's look at the materials. So what we have here is we've got a piece of plywood, and I cut it up into the sizes I need for the underside of the table. Now, why did I use plywood? Because plywood tends to be a lot straighter than the 1x3s or 1x4s you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. In fact, there's a meme for that. In addition to the 1x3s that I've cut here, I have the table legs that are not cut, and they're simply just 2x2s right here. And we'll cut those up as well and get that going. And then way over there, we have the plywood for the top. And the hardware, well, thank goodness I actually saved it. And it's actually over here on the cart. I had to do some fishing. It was in the garage. It was in the shop. Anyway, I do like to recycle things, and I did build a table previously, and I do have some of the carriage bolts here, so we're going to use that. And then we've got these for the legs. This is what I use to make them adjustable. And just more carriage bolts, washers, lock washers, that kind of stuff. And also, the wood has been cut. So here's everything that's needed to build the table. So now I just need to run to the hardware store to grab a few more of those adjustable things for the legs. Sorry, I don't know the proper name for it, but I'll go ahead and figure that out. And then I will be back. And when I get back, we're going to start building this table. I'm going to do a time lapse today in a different way that I've done it before. In the past, all my time lapses have just been, 1 second photos and then speed it up. This time I'm actually going to do a full video with no sound, add some music, and show you the process of me building this table. So I apologize if it's going to be a little unpolished because it's my first time, but let's go ahead and let's give it a go and let's get started on the table. So you saw that I went ahead and I drilled 2 holes. And you probably thought to yourself, why are you starting the table like that? Well, a couple different reasons. First of all, the first thing I do with all my builds is I make sure I can secure them together. And that's what these 2 carriage bolts are going to do. They're going to secure one table to the other. That way, if there's any sort of, like a bump at the table, earthquake, anything, these things are together instead of separate. Because when they're separate and they move separate, it can wreck the city. So that's the first thing. The other thing is, I'm compensating for something. No, not what you think. This floor is very unlevel. This shop, the way it was built, was not up to par, so I'm having to compensate for that. So that's why I'm starting it off at the same level as this table is, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to match it, and then the unlevelness, and we're going to cinch together when we're done. So I started off that way, so that way it's level now, it'll be fine. All right, let's go ahead and build the rest of this. Okay, so we are done building the tables, and just to show you, it is level here, and there we go. It's level on all sides. So now we can double down on the city by doubling its size. That's all I've got for you guys today. Next time, the next shop update is probably going to be along this wall. If I don't have money for installation, I'm going to go ahead and start moving those black Akro-Mils cabinets over here to the part that is finished, because that's the idea. I need to free up space in my shop, and I've got a bunch of them over here that are sitting on tables. So if I can move the ones over on the back wall over to the other wall, I'll have room to move these off these tables, and I can put these tables away and have more room. And that's part of the strategy for getting this all done. I hope you've enjoyed this video and the progress I've made. If you do, hit the like button. If you feel like I've earned your subscription, hit the subscribe button. Also, leave me a comment below and turn on all notifications. That way you'll know when I put out a current video. There are a few ways to help out the channel. One is you can make a direct donation to PayPal. That goes right back into the channel to buy things like the $4 in bolts I needed today. But hey, thank you very much. And also, you can go to Bricklink, and there's a link in the description. You can buy from me. We're under 700,000 pieces right now. But if you need pieces for your mocks and mods, head to my store first, see if I've got it, buy it from me. And I ship out within 24 business hours in most cases, and it helps you, it helps me to grow the channel. Also, you can head to our Etsy store. We now sell 3D printed dividers that work for the Akro-Mils small drawers. We're working on the large ones. We're not quite there yet, but we will be shortly. All right, guys, there's two other ways to help the channel. And if you can't help financially, that's totally okay. I understand. I'm not worried about it. But if you want to help out in other ways, share a link to this video or any of my other videos on other social media platforms where you know there's LEGO fans, and that helps out. And also, you can watch another video right after this one. And that just triggers the algorithm, and it helps out. All right, guys, be good to each other. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.